अगर आपने मेरी YouTube बायो पढ़ी है तो उसमें मैंने लिखा है that I'm making these videos for a younger version of myself, for आकृति from 2022। और उस आकृति को ना लगता था कि उसे सब पता है, that she knew what it meant to be kind। बट अब मुझे पता है कि ना उसे काइंडनेस का असली मतलब पता था, ना उसका महत्व। She didn't have any idea of what it truly meant to be kind, neither did she understand the importance of it। और मुझे लगता है कि उसकी तरह बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनको आइडिया नहीं है what exactly does kindness mean। The definition and the idea is quite cloudy, there's a lot of confusion around it। और हम सबको लगता है कि we know what it means to be kind। We hear a lot of these phrases actually, like be kind to yourself, be kind to others, if you can choose to be anything in the world, choose to be kind। But what exactly does it mean to be kind? इसको समझने के लिए लेट्स ट्राई आउट एन एक्सपेरिमेंट। आई थिंक ये जो सिचुएशन है ये हम सब ने कभी ना कभी अपनी लाइफ में इनकाउंटर की ही होगी। आई वॉन्ट यू टू इमेजिन दैट यू आर टॉकिंग टू समबडी who is not part of your inner circle, someone who's probably a stranger or like probably an acquaintance you don't know very well। आप उनसे बात कर रहे हैं and you notice that there is a piece of food that's stuck in their teeth। what will you do? Will you choose to let it go, or will you choose to bring it to their notice? ये एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल है, but it'll tell us if you understand what it actually means to be kind। If you chose the first option of just letting it go, you were probably just being nice। You were focusing more on that person's feelings। आपका as well intended as that choice was, the the reason you probably chose that was because you didn't want that person to feel awkward, or that person to feel embarrassed, or for there to be this discomfort between you and that person। But if you chose the second option of telling them about it, then you were being kind, which means that you were focusing on what is the right thing to do at that moment to avoid them experiencing a bigger embarrassment later, to deal with that discomfort right now, but focus on the big picture। And that's a very subtle but very important difference between being nice and being kind। And I think the issue is that we often end up being nice thinking that we are being kind। अब ये तो हमने समझ लिया what's the difference between being nice and being kind। Nice focuses on feelings, kind focuses on what's the right thing to do। But why is it important to know the difference? देखो, नाइस होने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। नाइस इज प्लेजेंट, नाइस इज पोलाइट, नाइस इज agreeable। But nice is also something that wants to keep the peace। Nice focuses on not rocking the boat। Nice often focuses on staying small, staying safe। It stems from this fear of judgment or fear of rejection। The intent is to make sure that everybody's feelings are kept in check। And it's not bad, sometimes it is important to be nice। But the issue is that as individuals and as a society, I think we are moving a lot towards niceness। The world is celebrating being nice more than being kind। It's more about making sure that we don't hurt anyone। It's more about catering to people's sensitivities। And that's important, but is it more important than doing the right thing? I was talking to a friend और वो मुझे बता रहा था that he doesn't like confrontation। उसको पसंद नहीं है। He likes to be the one to keep the peace। He doesn't start a confrontation, and if he's part of it then he keeps quiet, he lets the other person express। और उसमें कोई problem नहीं है, but the issue was the tone that he used, the way that he was expressing it felt like, oh, he thought that he was doing the right thing by him and by the other person. But when I was looking at that situation, all I could see was then he was not standing up for himself. He was making himself small. He was not expressing himself. He was not doing what is the right thing to do in that moment that would probably have intense repercussions later by using niceness as a mask of being a bigger person. Problem is that they he was choosing the comfort of the other person and the comfort of not having to stand up for himself, because if he stood up for himself he would have to deal with a lot of uncomfortable emotions. So he avoided that and he used the mask of niceness and he thought that he was doing well. He thought that he was doing the right thing. And I think that that's an issue with a lot of us. We are choosing to be nice over being kind because it's the easier option and it also doesn't look very bad, right? You're still not rocking the boat, you're still keeping the peace, you're still not being rude, you're not being harsh. But is it really the healthy choice? Even on a larger scale or global scale, if we think about it, right, we are being forced to be nice. आप ऐसा कुछ नहीं कह सकते जिससे कोई ट्रिगर हो जाए, नहीं तो आप कैंसिल हो जाओगे. You will be cancelled, opportunities will be taken from you, um, it will hurt your reputation if you choose to be kind and do the right thing instead of being nice, because nice triggers a lot of people, including ourselves. So I think that this is something that we need to deeply think about. We have enough nice people in the world. I think it's time for us to now embrace and celebrate kindness. People who are doing what is the right thing to do instead of doing what is the nice thing to do. अब ये एक spectrum है, which is of being nice, but there's actually another spectrum that is important to discuss, which are people who just brutally speak the truth. And I am guilty of that. I was actually one of them. मैं जब 14-15 साल की थी, I remember a friend telling me, Prakriti, you come across as frank to a point of being rude. And in my head, I was like, no, but I was just speaking the truth. The thing that my friends said actually stayed with me to a point that then I moved from one spectrum of being too truthful to being nice. I wanted to make sure that I didn't hurt anybody's feelings, so it was a better option to hold back. Until many years later, I realized that actually it's not about speaking the truth, it's about missing that important component which is part of kindness, which is compassion. अगर आप सिर्फ सच बोल रहे हो without adding compassion to it, then it's like a weapon that you're using. It's no more about uplifting the person and doing the right thing and helping them and looking at the bigger picture. It's just throwing out harsh truths that you think will benefit the other person. So the way that I look at it is that you have niceness, you have kindness, and then you have truth, brutal truth. And kindness just falls in the middle, right? So it focuses on the truth, but it also takes that compassion from niceness and gives you the right balance. There, there is a very simple hack that I've actually figured out. If you're ever in a situation where you have to choose between two options and you don't know which one is the nice one and which one is the kind one, just focus on which option will make you feel proud of yourself later. Because it's my understanding that if you're ever being kind, if you're doing it from a genuine place of being kind, you will always feel proud of yourself, even if it's the tougher choice, even if it requires you to be uncomfortable. So focus on what will make you proud, and that's probably the kinder option. Start by being kind to yourself. Start by doing right by yourself, focusing on the bigger picture that'll help you in the long run. And it took a while, but I think I now understand what kindness means and why is it important to be kind to yourself and to the world. If my thoughts make sense and if you resonated with it, if the experiment or the hack helped you, then um, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think that it's time for us to now embrace kindness and become a kinder world.